All right, we are kind of focused on the role of Saudi Arabia. Came up in my conversation with Secretary Mnuchin. What are they going to do in this war? Well, we've got Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, who met with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, a.k.a. MBS, and she joins us now to talk about it. Welcome, Senator Joni Ernst, co-chair of the Abraham Accords Caucus. I love that. Senator Ernst, well, you got home in one piece, so that's a really big plus. Just give me your, everyone's kind of worried about this. We don't know, obviously, war is hell, and we don't know what the future is going to hold. In your judgment, ma'am, you met with them, and you've been throughout the Middle East with your bipartisan group. And I'm not talking politics here. I'm just talking your judgment. You've been in the military. You're an expert on foreign policy. What do you think the Saudis are going to do? How will they play this dreadful war?
Yes, Larry, thanks so much for having me on. And it truly was an honor to be able to go into the Middle East and meet with these clearly very important leaders of these Arab nations. Many of them are already part of the Abraham Accords. The key, of course, is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And the delegation was able to meet with MBS. We had a wonderful discussion. And I have to say that when we left that meeting with the Crown Prince, all of us felt this level of energy and optimism about moving forward with a Saudi-Israeli peace agreement. However, that very next morning when we woke up, we found out about the attacks on Israel by Hamas. Now, clearly, Saudi Arabia is doing a very delicate balancing act. They do state support for the Palestinian people. That's a far cry from saying they agree with what Hamas is doing to the Israeli people. So I think that's an important distinction that we need to recognize, and that Hamas is backed by Iran. There's a very tentative agreement between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Saudi, I believe, wants to continue to look to the West for their partnerships. So I would say that I don't think the Israeli-Saudi agreement is dead. I think this complicates the issue very much. But I do believe that the kingdom wants to move forward. They want to see stability in their region, which brings about greater prosperity for their people.
Senator Ernst, I'll just read you a news clip. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had their first ever telephone call on Wednesday to discuss the shocking Hamas attack on Israel. During the call, they reportedly discussed, and I'm going to quote, the need to end war crimes against Palestine, end quote. I don't know what that means. I mean, then you're in this too, and it says, when asked about the Crown Prince's phone conversation, Senator Ernst called it a delicate balancing act. But I don't know what that means, the need to end war crimes against Palestine. And also, Senator, I mean, look, the thrust of the Abraham Accords and the thrust of the Trump policies was to isolate Iran and bring the Gulf states towards Israel. And, there was a lot of success, not 100%, but we made great strides. You were part of that, part of the conference in the Senate helping us along, and you're still doing it. I'm just worried Iran, which is essentially financing and backing Hamas and planning it for Hamas. The Wall Street Journal said Iran is Hamas's ventriloquist. This will change that. And that instead of the center of gravity moving away from Iran and towards Israel and the Gulf states, suddenly the center of gravity moves back to Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iran. What do you think? I mean, I'm just speculating, ma'am. I don't know anything. I'm just asking.
Oh, you know a lot, Larry. Give yourself some credit. You do. The situation we're faced with now, and all of these roads lead back to appeasement coming from the Biden administration. And so what I would say is that Saudi Arabia has had to pull closer to Iran because they're under constant threat coming from Iran. And when they see that the United States is not being a good partner to them, they do have to enter into a level of agreement with their adversary for their own protection. We see this with UAE as well. This administration has failed completely in working with the Arab Emirates and making sure that we are protecting oil resources moving through the Gulf. There are a number of occasions where they were asking for U.S. assistance and got absolutely nothing in countering Iran and the attacks coming from Iran. So when we are absent in leadership, these countries are going to gravitate to other regions, be it Russia, be it China, be it Iran, when we're creating that void. They have to look out for their own best interests. And if we're not helping along with that, of course, they are going to turn a different direction. So again, I have said it is a delicate balance. I'll keep saying that. But if we're not going to be part of the solution for the Middle East, they're going to have to chart their own solution, and we're not going to like it.
I just wanted to, one more point, Senator. I know you've been among many who want to freeze the $6 billion, stop it from going to Iran. And of course, you're dead right. But the bigger issue here is no matter what Janet Yellen says or Joe Biden or Jake Sullivan or any of that crowd, the fact remains they have totally relaxed the sanctions. And the sanctions, which go across the board, they're oil sanctions, banking sanctions, business sanctions, et cetera. They have been relaxed. The foreign exchange reserves have way up. The oil revenues have gone way up. You know, $6 billion is one thing, but for all we know, it's $100 billion in oil revenues, but the estimates are $60 to $70 billion. So here's my question. When you get back, or when Senate reconvenes, and I presume the House will get itself a speaker and start to play with you. Can you strengthen these? Can you get a bipartisan group to strengthen the sanctions and essentially force the administration by law to restore tough sanctions on banking, on business, on oil, on clogging up the Gulf, oil shipping? Because you've done it once. I mean, Iran's on the list, Venezuela's on the list, North Korea's on the list, et cetera, et cetera. Can you reinforce that and get a bipartisan group to do it? Because the Bidens have, they've just given that up.
Yes, Larry, and I believe we can. And we've already demonstrated this. Back in April, I did author a letter to the administration, to President Joe Biden. You know who the co-lead on that was? Richard Blumenthal, Democrat, that joined, both of us on the Armed Services Committee. So there are a number of Democrats that understand this administration is not pressing on those sanctions. They are not enforcing them. And you're right. The Iranians have seen an X-fold increase in oil exports. It's at the highest level it's been in 5 years. And we know that they provide 93% of the funding to Hamas. So essentially what we've seen is this administration back away from sanctions, which continues to enrich Iran and thus, in turn, the terrorist proxies, those that have pushed this fight against the Israelis. So, again, it goes back to the Iranians and appeasement from this administration.
Good luck on it. Appreciate it very much.